Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into something you probably think you know all about. When we hear the word DNA, we usually just picture high school biology, right? You know, that microscopic spiral staircase that decides whether you get your dad's nose or your mom's eye color. But as you're about to see, DNA is vastly more than just a biological blueprint. It's actually a time machine, a real-time medical lifesaver, and, quite literally, the hard drive of the future. This ancient code is actively rewriting our modern world.
Okay, let's just set the scale here, because this is completely mind-bending. If you were to take the DNA packed inside the 100 trillion cells in your body right now and stretch it out end to end, well, actually scratch that, it wouldn't just reach across the room. It would stretch to the sun and back a staggering 600 times. That is the sheer, unbelievable volume of information carrying capacity hiding inside you at this exact second.
So here's our roadmap for This Explainer. 1. The code of life. 2. Unlocking ancient mysteries. 3. Saving lives and hours. And 4. The ultimate data drive. Let's get right into it. Section 1. The code of life. Understanding our biological blueprint. Now, think about it like this. You've got this incredibly complex 3 billion letter manual inside you. But the crazy part, it's written using a remarkably simple alphabet of just 4 chemical letters: adenine, cytosine, guanine, and thymine, A, C, G, and T. To put that into perspective, if you were to read this code out loud 24 hours a day, it would take you a whole century to finish. Yet biology manages to fold all of that perfectly inside a microscopic cell.
I really love this quote because it hits the nail on the head regarding the poetic efficiency of biology. In human language, like English, if you take away even one letter of the alphabet, we really struggle to communicate. But life manages to write every single living organism into existence with a mere 4 letters. These 4 little letters orchestrate this beautiful, complex dance of proteins that builds everything we know.
And here's where it gets kind of funny, but also super humbling. Despite how unique we all feel, you share 99.9% of your DNA with every other human on Earth. But it goes way deeper than that. Because evolution is smart and reuses its best inventions, you actually share a surprising 75% of your genetic makeup with a common pumpkin. Oh, and 57% with a cabbage. So yeah, we are profoundly, literally connected to the entire living world. Moving right along to Section 2, Unlocking Ancient Mysteries, DNA as a Time Machine. So, for over a decade, scientists were aggressively debating the identity of a Roman-era skeleton found in Britain, known as the Beachy Head Woman. Back in 2013, they used these totally flawed 19th-century skull-measuring techniques and assumed she was a migrant from sub-Saharan Africa. But when we finally hit her with modern, high-quality DNA sequencing, the truth came out. She wasn't a migrant at all. Her DNA proved for sure she was a local Romano-British woman, complete with fair skin and blue eyes.
Just look at this timeline. It's like a giant puzzle finally clicking into place. In 2013, skull shapes gave us a false African origin. Then in 2017, they tried DNA, but it was so degraded and low quality that it gave a false Mediterranean signal. It wasn't until 2025 that high-coverage genomic sequencing settled the debate once and for all. It just proves that when you're trying to solve ancient mysteries, low-quality guesswork is absolutely no match for the hard truth of high-quality DNA.
But wait. DNA can take us way, way further back in time. We're talking 12,000 years ago. Recently, DNA solved a massive archaeological mystery from an Ice Age burial cave in southern Italy. Researchers have been scratching their heads for ages about these 2 skeletons buried in a really tight embrace, and specifically, why one of them was so unusually short in stature.
Okay, let's really dive into this one because it's fascinating. Scientists extracted ancient DNA from the temporal bones of these skeletons, and boom! Startling discovery. They were a mother and daughter. But even more incredibly, they found a specific mutation in the daughter's NPR2 gene. This gives scientists the earliest known genetic diagnosis of a rare form of dwarfism. And here's the so what of all this. Because this young woman lived into adolescence, despite having severe physical challenges in a brutal Ice Age environment, this DNA beautifully proves that prehistoric communities actively and deeply cared for their vulnerable members. No way she survives without a supportive community, right?
All right, Section 3, Saving Lives and Hours, DNA as a real-time medical lifesaver. Picture this. It's a literal life-or-death scenario. A 13-year-old boy named Matthew Kunzman arrives at Stanford Hospital in total heart failure and gets put right on life support. Doctors are staring at a ticking clock and a massive question. Was his heart failing due to myocarditis, an inflammation that can just be reversed with meds? Or was it a genetic mutation, which meant his heart was done, and he needed a transplant immediately? They had to know his DNA, and they had to know it fast. Now, normally, getting a genetic sequence took weeks. Matthew did not have weeks. So, to bypass this, the Stanford team pulled off something incredible. They rigged 48 sequencing flow cells together to analyze his blood sample all at the same time. Then, they funneled that absolute tidal wave of genomic data straight up to the cloud, where algorithms scanned his entire genetic code for disease variants in real time.
And the result? Absolutely staggering. They sequenced a full human genome in a Guinness World Record time of exactly 5 hours and 2 minutes. In just over 7 hours total, they found the exact genetic mutation causing Matthew's heart failure. Because they moved with such unprecedented speed, doctors were able to confidently bump Matthew onto the transplant list just in the nick of time. He got a new heart 3 weeks later. His life was literally saved by rapid DNA sequencing. Let's hit our final section. Section 4, the ultimate data drive, repurposing biology to save our digital future.
So we are actually facing this massive, kind of silent infrastructure disaster right now. Humanity is generating digital data. Think emails, 4K videos, financial records, medical scans, way faster than we can physically build the server farms and hard drives to store it all. The physical limits of silicon and magnetic tape are basically tapping out.
So what's the solution? Well, computer scientists are looking right at biology. They are literally taking our digital binary code, the ones and zeros, and mapping it directly into the 4-letter biological alphabet of DNA. By assigning digital values to adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine, you can take a Word document, a family photo, or a whole software app and synthesize it into actual physical DNA strands. It is wild. Just look at this comparison. It is not even a fair fight. DNA storage absolutely crushes traditional tech in physical density. To put it in perspective, you could theoretically store the entirety of the internet in a shoebox of DNA. And look at the lifespan. Your laptop's hard drive might last, 5 years? DNA can last 10,000 years. We literally just saw that with those Ice Age skeletons. Plus, maintaining it sitting on a shelf requires absolutely zero electrical energy. It is the perfect hyper-sustainable archive.
So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. We've seen DNA rewrite ancient history, we've seen it save a child's life in real time, and now it's offering a sustainable home for all of humanity's digital data. As DNA transitions from being this purely biological mystery into our ultimate customizable multi-tool, how will this universal code rewrite our future? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep questioning the limits of what's possible.